I'm going to talk about my article that is Developing Speaking Skills in EFL course or English as a Foreign Language course. The main aims of this study are to describe techniques and strategies used by teachers to develop speaking skills in EFL course in Pitch English Academy and EPIS.com. The resource design used was an ethnographic principle. The data were gained from observations, interviews, and artifact field notes, where the findings depicted that teachers are the main factor of learning, using chemistry strategies and techniques to make the English language classroom fun and dynamic place, to enhance students' motivation, and to build English atmosphere in class and outside class as well. As we know, English has become an obligatory subject in several levels of education, which goal is to provide assessments for students to apply the language in different contexts of communication. And some ways they can be able to take part in social life and able to communicate. But what is the real problem? Teaching of English is able to students to achieve high proficiency in four skills due to the number of students, which usually consists of 4 or more students, where they do not respond actively in speaking exercise due to they have fewer opportunities for them to practice. That affects the quality of instructions. Students tend to cancel their mistakes and weakness, and they are unwilling to speak. So the less they practice, the less they improve. A different situation is happening in Peace Institute and Peace Camp, where learners are able to speak English in different conditions. It's important to mention that for this study, were used methods like observation and recording, where pictures were taken and activity recorded, interview to the teacher and students after the class observation, transcriptions, but the impact deterrence, we were describing the techniques, strategies, and some variables in teaching and learning English in Peace Institute, from video recording and sound recording, and the analyzing of the data collection questionnaires, video recording, the process of teaching and learning speaking English in daily conversation, interviews and teaching materials. Based on the data collection, the data findings were divided into 4 variables for developing speaking skills in Pitch Academy and CAP. The first one is precise variable, where teacher factor correspond to teacher factors, context variable that correspond to students, teacher, and institute factors, teaching materials, and seating arrangements. The number 3 is process variables that correspond to teacher and student teaching and learning behavior in class and outside class. Number 4 corresponds to product variables that correspond to students' growth and long-term students' efforts. As a result, the success for classroom teaching depends on many factors. As most aspects of classrooms learning involve the teachers, where they are manager, learning facilitator, evaluator, guider, and program planner. According to the teacher factors, from data collection was shown that all the teachers have good English background study. They were also trained in how to teach speaking skills and how to motivate students. Teachers always conduct to organize, guide, supervise the students' group discussions, give chance to the students to participate in speaking activities, practice, monitor the student performance, and the teacher always says something in English, or the students always say something in English. They give the students appropriate amounts of speaking skill, practices, monitor the students' performance to see that is satisfactory. The student speaking strategies are advising their students to use strategies to learn speaking. According to the student factors, The student factors are the main sector factor that determine context variable of developing speaking skills. Teachers and institutes organize some factors of developing speaking skills, such as seating arrangement, materials, and teaching facilities based on student needs and conditions. Student factors also determine the result of developing speaking skills of other variables. The other thing is they are obligated to speak English in daily communication. So the students in Peace English Academy and Peace Camp have high motivation in learning speaking. That is actually really important. They always try to find ways of learning English together and have a high awareness to always learn English and use in everyday life and some learning strategies to develop speaking skills. Regarding to the data findings, they use many kinds of learning strategies, such as cognitive strategies, and metacognitive strategies, socioafective strategies, and communicate strategies. Talking about this first one saying cognitive strategies, that means to deal with information. Students, some examples of these are the students repeat to read some vocabularies and common expressions for supplementary material that teacher gives. They make discussions in their room with their roommates. They put a paperboard on the wall that contains some vocabulary and daily conversation in a strategic place such as bathroom, guest room, and bedroom. The second one is metacognitive strategy were involved planning for learning, thinking about learning, and how to make effective self-monitoring during learning and evaluation, or how successful learning has been after working on language in some ways. Students always trying to correct themselves when they feel that they are not using the correct form while speaking. The evaluation related their weakness and strengths in speaking English. The third one is socio-affective strategies, are concerned with the learner's emotional requirements such as confidence, will social strategies lead to increased interaction with the target language. They speak, the thing is they speak English outside the classrooms. They ask teacher, classmate, or roommate for corrections or error in the speaking about or in grammar, pronunciation, and diction. And they talk and share ideas about language learning, problem, and effective speaking strategies with their teachers and classmates. They always help each other. They always find some solution for the problems in speaking English. The last is the communication strategy, when learners use gestures, mime, synonyms, paraphrase, and connected words from the first language to make themselves understood and to maintain conversation. These strategies and common strategies that always happen in daily conversation of the students, or that means the important thing is they use English 24 hours. The other thing is about teaching materials, where they use, or teachers say that they use many supplementary materials in the classroom. Different materials such as audio, video, visual teacher may already make teaching in these like pictures, models, diagrams, charts, maps to supplement the lesson except the textbook. They say teachers teachers playing role in preparing, adapting, or modifying materials to develop their learning speaking skill. Teachers do not use textbooks to teach speaking skills and use a piece of paper that they make to support student learning activities in class because they didn't want their students to memorize a script. They want to speak natural without memorizing. The other factor is setting arrangement, where different class scholars suggest that classroom organization should be convenient to teach speaking skills in a more attractive way. For different ways in which the class is organized, there are individual basis per work, group work, and whole class. Teachers The interviews, also indicate that teacher must use whole class seating arrangement due to favorable class environments. The other thing is that in this thing, everyone must have opportunity to speak English, ask help, and do their best. According to the techniques and strategies to develop speaking skills, the teacher used four techniques for developing speaking skills. There are elicitation techniques that consist of discussion, dialogue, conversation, question and answer, translation, interpretation, instruction, oral report, interview, storytelling, or drama. Number two, techniques on integration, speaking skills with other skills such as listening, with speaking grammar, with speaking reading, with speaking and pronunciation, with speaking. Number three uses techniques of assessing speaking skills, in which teacher creates the unique activities to give many opportunities for students to speak English in class. Technique for responding to learning errors and mistakes. In this technique, teacher always asks students to read the card of shock therapy. This card helps the students to know their weakness of speaking about pronunciation, diction, grammar, and others. Teachers always create some strategies for building English and atmosphere in class and outside class. This strategy also helps the students to always speak in English in the PIMS Institute and PACE Camp. The common strategy that always teacher does in PACE English Academy and PACE Camp, that the teacher always helps the students discover what ways of learning work best for them in developing speaking skills. The teacher helps the students to find quick ways of recalling what students have learned by using rhymes, particular context, or personal experience. The teacher helps the student ask for error correction. Teachers encourage their students to speak English outside the class, and the teacher helps the students not to be so much concerned with accuracy. So, in conclusion, in this article, is that the role of a language teacher is to create the best conditions for learning. Teachers act differently in different situations. The teachers are playing active roles in developing speaking skills. They use many kinds of teaching strategies and techniques to develop speaking skills. They focus on doing activities in real activities through conversations, discussions, role play, oral report, questions and answers, and debate. Generally, the teachers are easily playing their roles in presenting the lessons, giving appropriate practice, supervising, and monitoring the practice sessions, motivating learners, giving activities for reproductions, and encouraging students to always use English outside the classroom, such as English camp. The students are very active because the teaching materials are based on the student need for communication in English area. Thank you very much.